Do that. I'm doing this song mostly because Kurt has promised he's going to do a jig for us while I'm singing it. No?
Well, I rehearsed last night, but
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Now sing with me. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place, ooh, at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
woohoo! Thank you, Daniel. Yay! If that doesn't help us feel welcome
Very
into
minimalist
the
dance of yours, Kurt. Yeah.
did the snapping.
Very minimalist, very subtle dancing. Yeah. Yeah.
I was belting though. The mic was off, but ooh man, neighbors could hear me. So welcome to Unity on the North Shore's virtual Sunday service. I'm Reverend Kurt Condra. Today our guest musician, whom you've already heard from, is the brilliant Daniel Nahmod, all the way from Tustin, California. We've been singing his songs for years. So some of them you may know, some of them you may not, but I'm so excited that we'll actually have his energy here and live with us today. Let's see, Kent Stanton is serving as our prayer chaplain. You want to say, hey, Kent? Or wave?
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Let's see, and then we will be extra specially blessed by April and Kira Henneman. They'll be joining us for a special Mother's Day presentation a little bit later in the service, but we're delighted to have their energy as part of it too. I know they're excited and not at all nervous, right? Okay, let's start with prayer. So wherever you are, we just take a moment now to quiet our minds and hearts as we open ourselves to the incredible power and presence of the divine that we know emanates in and through and as each and every one of us. We gratefully receive these wonderful energies of light and love pouring through us and all things. We affirm that we are here in this place on this morning, in the right place at the right time, just as we're supposed to be. And we trust that our divine purpose is now being fulfilled, for we know and are in the presence of pure being, immersed in the light and love of the Holy Spirit. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. You know it, sing. Swing wide the doors the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. About lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. One more time. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
Oh, awesome. My heart's wide open. Hey, so here, something I was going to mention in the introduction that I forgot to, but this is going to be an amazing service. So right where you are, if you can think of someone that you would love to see join us, that you could send the link to, either send them the link in the text that you received earlier, or forward the email you got, and just let's swing wide the doors and invite everyone we would love to have as a part of our experience. So unity is a positive, practical approach to spiritual living. Our teachings are based on the work and the life of Jesus and the power of prayer. Wherever you are on your journey of faith, you are welcome here. That's the message that really resonated with me most when I first discovered unity. I didn't really realize that there was a community of folks who believed that there were many names for the one God, and we were all traveling a shared and common path. So I hope that you have a similar experience when you're with us this morning, and I hope that you'll come back and join us again, if not virtually, but even down the road when we're back in for Sunday services or doing live stream. So in unity, one of the things that we know is that the words we speak have power. And so we're very careful about holding the intention about what we want to create in our lives and in the world. So our mission and vision are very important to us. And we know that by speaking those aloud, that we help to bring them into fuller expression. So please join me now in speaking our vision together. Centered in spirit, we co-create a world that works for all.
We co-create a world that works for all.
And next we'll do our vision together. We are an empowering, diverse, spiritual community experiencing spirit within to create a peaceful and prosperous world. If this is your first Sunday with us, we extend a joyful and loving welcome. As I said, we hope you'll come back again. And just if you'd like to have a little bit more of a connection with our community at the end of service, we will open up all the mics. It's a little bit chaotic at first, but it gives people a chance to just check in and say hello. And as the buzz settles down, we actually have some cool conversation about either something you heard in the lesson today or something cool that you're doing in the midst of this sequestering time that's bringing the greater light of God into the world. So thank you for being here, and God bless.
You are sacred love, is all that you are. You are sacred love, God. Sacred love is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are blessed peace. You are blessed peace. Blessed peace is all that you are. You are blessed peace, God. Blessed peace is all that you are. Show the way. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are deepest joy. You are deepest joy. Deepest joy is all that you are. You are deepest joy, God. Deepest joy is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. Once more, you are sacred love. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, God. Sacred love is all that you are.
Wow. Thank you, Daniel. That was amazing as always. Hello,
Welcome.
my name is Kent Stanton, and I am blessed to be serving as prayer chaplain today. Now I invite you to relax and let go. Let's prepare to hear how the voice of Divine Spirit is speaking to us as I read today's daily words, which are Mother's Blessing. And the affirmation is, I honor all mothers and am grateful for their love. And the Bible verse is from the Old Testament, Proverbs 31:26. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. I bless my mother and am grateful to her for the gift of nurturing love. Whether my mother is still with me or has passed on, her love still lives in my heart, and her wisdom continues to inspire me. I am grateful for the many ways my mother has blessed me. I also feel deep appreciation and tender affection for all those who have blessed me with the selfless gift of motherly love. I would not be who I am without them. Through the living example of the mothers in my life, I pass along the blessings of a mother's care and devotion as I embrace opportunities to share an affirming thought, an encouraging word, a smile, or a simple act of kindness. I honor my mother and all mothers as I share the love of God that never fails. I now invite you to take a slow cleansing breath in and slowly let it out. We are so grateful to be praying together today. The daily words describe honoring our mothers. We continue to love anyone who provided love. Now, as we go into the silence, let's take a few brief moments to remember and thank all those who taught us and to continue to teach us love. Dear Divine Spirit, Mother, Father, God, we know that you are here for us right here and now. We are so grateful for the peace that we just experienced thinking about our loved ones. And we know that during these challenging times, you will continue to be there for us. We know that we can always pause, go into the silence, and go into our heart space and pray. And we know that you are listening and that our prayers will be heard. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. If you would like to request a personal prayer during the service, you can enter it into the chat box, and our prayer team will pray over it for 30 days, then forward it to Silent Unity at Unity headquarters, where it will be prayed for an additional 30 days. Please remember, though, that this will be a community prayer, since we all can see what is written in the chat box. There will also be information on our prayer support opportunities later in the service. And now we return to Reverend Kurt.
Thank you, Kent. We are so blessed by our prayer chaplain team, and their energy is just beautiful. So I want to just take a minute to kind of introduce our guest speaker presenter. As you know, our monthly theme for this month is Fearless Living. See if I can get that to show on the screen. It's based on a pamphlet, a booklet that was printed by Unity World Headquarters. And Reverend Christina and I we swiped some of the titles out of the table of contents, and one of them that we were most attracted to was written by our guest speaker. And so we figured, hey, why not see if we can get Daniel to actually speak on that very subject, a new life, a new song. So I reached out to him on Facebook and was able to kind of get in touch with him. And then yesterday, it was interesting. One of the things that I adore about Daniel is that he has this incredible capacity to be really present, more so than most presenters or most singer-songwriters or than I know. And he sees through kind of what happens on the surface to the deeper stuff. So yesterday, here's an example. So yesterday we were working on the rehearsal thing, and I asked him if he was gonna, he has some roots back here in Evanston, and I asked if he was gonna be talking about those, right? And he sort of, underneath that, there was kind of an energy of, yeah, because we want to claim credit back here in Evanston for your success. You know, there's a little bit of that energy. I didn't really think of it consciously, but that's what was there. And he nailed it. He called me on it, and he was like, oh, Kurt, no, I thought I'd talk about how you're responsible for my success, you know? And we laughed a little bit about that. But it speaks to his ability to sort of see what is and go to that deeper level and recognize that it is all of God. It is all spirit. Much of his music is about that theme. And what's really beautiful about it is that he sees it, but he's also able to speak to it and then sort of create an experience of it. So if you've heard him before, experienced him before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've not, just you are in for an amazing blessing. I am so pleased to be able to have Daniel Nahmod on our virtual service today. So welcome, Daniel. So delighted that you're here.
Thank you. I am too. And you know, I was just giving you a hard time yesterday. What I actually said was I would absolutely give you credit for driving me to my first guitar lesson because you were there and it was your idea. And I just want to thank you again.
Okay.
And I mean, didn't you buy me this guitar at Evanston Band and Orchestra? I'm pretty sure.
Stop. No,
I mean, that was just
we actually
so
only worked together one time.
Actually, no.
We only worked together.
Actually, no kidding. There is a guitar on the wall behind me that I did buy at Evanston Band and Orchestra. Yeah, it was the first guitar I ever bought. I bought there. I used to live, my first little apartment after college was on Maine and Chicago, I'm pretty sure. And it was not a nice apartment, and it was near Evanston Band and Orchestra, and I used to go in there and look around, and I did buy my first guitar there, and I still use it sometimes. Anyway, wow. So yes, you do deserve all the credit for, in fact, I'm pretty sure, weren't you my personal trainer back in the 90s when I was in the best shape of my life too? I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry. Okay, back to the subject. It's very nice of you to say what you said. Thank you. Sorry. I said that I would dial down the goofiness and sarcasm from yesterday, 23%, and I don't think I've achieved that yet, but I'm going to work on that. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Nice to actually virtually see so many brave people turning on their cameras on a Sunday morning. That is impressive. It's very nice to see you all. I'm flipping through and I'm just looking at the friendly faces. So good morning. I'm going to sing you a little bit and chat with you a little bit. We'll start with a song. When my hands were emptied, when my hope was gone, I couldn't help but wonder, what had I done wrong? But even though my heart was broken, there was no need to despair, 'cause a vessel must be open to put something better there. Oh yeah. Into my empty hands, gently you pour new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. Now I understand. You needed my empty hands. So forgive me when I doubt it. I admit sometimes I do. Or consider giving up 'cause I cannot see the truth. I know I'll never go without it. Your deep and abiding love, oh love, into my empty hands, gently you pour new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. Now I understand. You needed my empty hands. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. And I cannot help but cry to think of the gifts you've given me. Now I understand you needed my empty hands. So thank you for my thank you for my empty hands. Now, to me, that song is about several things, but maybe more than anything, that song is about trusting when I can remember to, trusting and knowing that I am fundamentally, at my foundation, unshakably, permanently loved. Right? Circumstances change, bones break, hearts break, bank accounts get low, epidemics sweep the world, whatever is going to happen. But I am still fundamentally, permanently, completely, unconditionally loved. And the intention of the song, and of course, any songwriter will admit that they're writing what they most want to hear. Fundamentally, I'm telling myself that, I'm reminding myself that, right? As I wrote it and as I sing it every time. I have two brothers, and we grew up in Skokie. My Bubby and Zadie, my mom's parents, and my mom herself, grew up Drake Avenue, north side of Chicago, near the old Lincoln Village. You guys remember that? McCormick, off McCormick there? I don't know if it's still there. Is it still there? Lincoln Village gone? No. Anyway, we used to sleep over my Bubby's house. 3 boys. I can't even begin to imagine the mass hysteria and chaos we brought to that house. We were little boys. I'd see Jack, my older brother's 3 years older. My younger brother David is a year and a half younger. So we were spanning 6 years approximately of chaos. 3 boys. Okay, so we would sleep over my Bubby and Zadie's house. And now my parents are both attorneys, and my dad has been a fitness freak long before there was any cool factor to it. In fact, nobody has ever applied the phrase cool factor to my dad. He's a law professor at Chicago Kent downtown for 45 years, just retired. And the fitness commitment extended to his family, which means we had a salad with every dinner. There were no sweet cereals in the house. There was no soda in the house. Dessert was an exception. We didn't have dessert. We had a square meal with salad every dinner. And my dad, to this day, jogs basically 40 minutes every other day, his entire life, longer than my life. And I'm turning 50 in a couple months, right? So that's how we were raised. Now, things were a little different when we would sleep over Bubby and Zadie's house. Meaning, and I'm not even sure my dad knew that this was happening, but every time we slept over my grandparents' house, our Bubby would have gone to the store and bought a box of Fruit Loops for each night we were sleeping over. And every morning when we when we would wake up, um, we would come downstairs, and my bubby, I've always assumed it was my bubby doing it. It might have been my Zadie, but he was not as nice as she was. He just wasn't. He was nice to us, but he wasn't like this. I'm 99.9% sure it was her. So she would have set up on the table 3 bowls, 3 spoons, and a brand new unopened box of Fruit Loops. And the 3 boys would plow through that Fruit Loops like we hadn't eaten in 2 weeks. And then I can only assume run around in circles screaming in the house for the next 2 hours, or, well, until the sugar buzz wore off, which was probably about 20 minutes. Maybe she did it so that we'd have a nap an hour later. And my bubby did not have the sweet tooth. In fact, I still remember she would put one Fruit Loop on her tongue with a sip of coffee. And she was from Poland, and she would say, "So sweet, too sweet." And she'd put one Fruit Loop on her tongue, and that was enough. That was enough sugar for her. So she was not buying Fruit Loops so she could sneak a bowl when her husband wasn't looking, like my mom would. She was doing it just for us, right? Which is why I can hereby declare categorically that Fruit Loops are love. It's a mathematical equation. Einstein would agree. Fruit Loops equals love. On my dad's side, his mom, we never slipped over that I remember, but whenever we went over there, she, the master chef, which she was not, would take out a box of Pop-Tarts, which we, again, never. I mean, the words Pop-Tarts was a bad word in the Nahmod household. I mean, that's how rigid my dad was on this. But we'd go to his mom's house, and when he wasn't looking, she would put a Pop-Tart in the toaster, in the vertical little toaster oven for each of us. And my God, which is why I can also categorically declare that Pop-Tarts are love. Now, that all sounds very goofy, but I think you know that I'm actually not being goofy at all. This was formative for me. I could cry thinking about that bowl of Fruit Loops, what it meant to us. And now, maybe even more so, do I understand what that was for her. Her grandsons were coming to sleep over. We were probably so cute and so crazy. And she probably loved us more than she could ever express. And the way she did it was with a brand new box of Fruit Loops every morning. And to swing wide the doors of her house, which I'm sure was a very quiet place by the time we were there, swing wide the doors, let us make whatever mess. I never remember scolding, correcting. That was not what my bubby was for me. She was a box of Fruit Loops, unconditionally offered to devour with no rules and no correction, right? That's pretty special. I mean, as a place in my memory, that's a pretty special place. Now, I think then about, in very, very sharp contrast, I think about a boy named Alfonso, okay? Just before Jude was born, our boy is 8 years old now. About a year before he was born, I had done a lot of volunteer work. It's not to sound noble, I just have. I've volunteered and I've sung in a lot of places, a lot of nonprofit organizations, a lot of hospitals, a lot of prisons and schools and nursing homes. That's just something I've always enjoyed doing, was singing a song to make a room or even an individual feel better. I'd have a college fund for my boy if it wasn't such a strong instinct, because I would have come to LA and pursued, codependent, cranky, obsessive love song career, and I probably would have done pretty well at it. I'm a decent songwriter, and that's never been my focus, for better or worse. Unfortunately for Jude, he's probably going to need some student loans, because instead I was out volunteering. And I mean, again, not to sound noble, it's almost a compulsion. I can't help it. I've never been able to help it. But it occurred to me, maybe a decade ago or so, that while I had done a lot of volunteering with my songs, with individual performances, I had never really gone beneath the surface of an act of service. I'd never stuck around past You know, I'd sung a couple songs for Habitat for Humanity, and they applaud and say how wonderful, and then I go home. And there had never been a real immersion into something. I'd never dared to commit to something longer than that as a philanthropist, as a, you know, if that makes sense. Okay. So then I heard about this program called CASA, which is you have CASA there, just like we have CASA here. It's a national organization. Some of you probably are familiar with it, have heard of it, or maybe even participated in it. Court appointed special advocate. What a CASA does, what a volunteer in the CASA organization does, is you are assigned one child in your local foster care system, and that child becomes your friend. You advocate for that child. You take that child out for a milkshake. You show up at the court dates for that child. You talk to a social worker if they ask you. If the kid needs something that the group home they're living in isn't addressing, or if you notice a change in mood, or if they whisper something to you, you are their advocate. In fact, when I became a CASA for a boy named Alfonso, I went to his court dates in terms of custody. You know, he was under county custody, and I went to the court date, and I was amazed I mean, I've never been in a family court like this to begin with. I'm so grateful to say. So it was all new. But I was shocked to find that after a very, very cursory hearing about how Alfonso is doing, the judge looked down and said, "Oh, I understand." And I'd only known Alfonso at this point a few months. You know, I'd spent a fair amount of time with him, but a few months. And he was 14 at that time, 15. The judge says, "Oh, I understand Alfonso's CASA is here." You know, yeah, yes, that's me. I'm in the back. He says, tell us about Alfonso." It was like that, because the social worker had met with him once a month for a half hour in the midst of an overwhelming caseload. The judge had never met Alfonso. They're making decisions for him and on his behalf best they can, but literally I was the only person at his hearing who knew him at any level. It was like that, right, to be his CASA. Now the trick was that Alfonso was, like I said, about 15 at that point, and his mother had had drug problems and had been deported. His grandmother had raised him essentially for a couple of years of his childhood, but had followed her daughter in deportation. Alfonso had never met his father. I was the first man that he knew in his life. Essentially, literally, I was the first man in his life. His mother had never been present for him. His grandmother had tried and then had left. There was no one else. Alfonso was alone and had been alone, fending for himself for essentially his entire life. And I had never known someone in that circumstance. Again, I'm grateful to say, raised by married parents in Skokie, in a fairly stable community, Niles North, you know, excellent high school. Everything was. I grew up listening to Annie, the musical. It had literally never dawned on me what an orphan was in any substantial way. I got to know Alfonso, and here's what I found. What I found was there was a hole inside him that I could not fill, that no one could fill as far as I could tell, but I certainly couldn't. He couldn't trust that I would stick around. He couldn't believe that I was there unpaid. I was the only person in his life who wasn't paid to be there. He hadn't had, and this is my takeaway observation, he hadn't had that one person in his life who would put out a box of Fruit Loops on the table every morning for him. He hadn't had that one person, no matter who it was. He hadn't had just, I keep saying it again, and I know I'm repeating myself intentionally. He had not had the one person who he could know deep down in his spine for an entire lifetime, that one person who would do anything for him, who would inconvenience him or herself for him because he was worth it. He deserved it. He was loved like that. I was with him 2 or 3 years, and he ended up in prison, which is where he is now. I mean, I joked with half joked with the women at Casa who recruited me and who I talked with. I said, by the way, if you ever want anybody to show up at a training session and talk about what it's like to be a Casa, just be prepared for me to get up and say, I want to thank the Casa organization for breaking my heart multiple times, because it did. But the observation that I made, which has one of many, which has stayed with me since that experience, was that, and maybe it's a leap, but maybe it'll ring true for you. We all need the one person who loves us absolutely enough to inconvenience him or herself. And I don't use that word lightly. I mean somebody who will put themselves out for it. Somebody who will spend money that they really can't afford on socks, on cereal, on summer camp. It's not the money that does it. It's not the money that installs the core in us. It's what the sacrifice represents, what the inconvenience represents. And we may be little pissants as kids when somebody is doing these things for us, but we, way down deep, figure out we're worth this love. I'm worthy of this person who is clear, talking about me now with my boy. He is clearly exhausted. So my boy, we've been working on this fixer-upper house. It's a mess everywhere. I can't even begin to tell you. I have been working with drywall and concrete. The folks on our meeting yesterday saw me. I don't know if you could see that I was dripping with sweat and actually soaked with sweat, but I had just been shoveling 1,000 pounds of tile into a dumpster that I destroyed myself with a jackhammer. This is a fixer-upper. I will finish a day like that, and Jude will say, Daddy, you want to jump on the trampoline? Which Santa bought him, Daddy, you want to jump on the trampoline? Sure, Jude. Let's go jump on the trampoline. I can't say I'm going to last more than 5 minutes, but yes. Now, I go out there, and I'm not proud to say that I complain and moan about how tired I am, and I don't last very long. Not just because I'm old and chubby, but because I've been shoveling tile for 6 hours, and it's hard, and I'm exhausted. But he knows, even though he's disappointed that it only goes a few minutes. He is. And I feel terrible. I don't feel proud at the end. I feel guilty. But I also do know that he just got the message that even though I'm soaked with sweat, and my head is in my hands, I've just drunk a liter of water in his presence, that I still even consider going outside to jump on a trampoline with him because he's worth it. That is building him. I am 100% sure. It's building him like my parents and like my bubbies with their Pop-Tarts and their Fruit Loops built me, right? Now, I could say that what I've been talking about is about a mother's love, but it is only kinda. And I say that not only because it's also because I'm a daddy and not a mommy, and I show up that way too, but also because mommy means very different things to different people. Not every mother is that person who shows up and fills that space and who vouches for us. And not everybody has that mother. I'm well aware of it. I have close friends whose mothers were mentally ill. I have a close friend whose mother left and left them with a single dad, left 5 kids with a single dad. So I'm not trying to gloss over the complexity of each individual family. So I'm not going to say moms are all wonderful and amazing. We love you, moms. Not everybody has that feeling. The friend whose mom left as a little kid, you know what she remembers about Mother's Day? She remembers reading other people's Mother's Day cards and laughing. That's what it meant to her. But her father, what a man, showed up her entire childhood and made sure she knew she was worth the trouble, worth the inconvenience, worth the expense, loved and adored to her core unconditionally, and it shows up in that friend's life to this day, right? That is the love I'm talking about. And for many of us, it's a mother, and for many of us, it's not. But Kurt, you had said, new song, new day, new song. And here's, I could go far too long, and I could sing you too many songs, and we could be here till 11 tonight, honestly, because as my uncle once said, why tell a story in 2 sentences when you can tell it in 7? But I do want to say this last thought, and I don't feel like I've sung you enough songs, but I'll sing you a song in a minute then. Is right now especially, we are in extraordinary unknowing. I mean, the lack of information is spectacular. It's unprecedented. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Go out of your house, don't go out of your house. It's going to end tomorrow, it's going to end in a month. It's never going to end. You're all going to be fine. We're not going to be fine. We might be fine. A few of us will be fine. Some of us won't be fine. I mean, for God's sake, the economy's going to recover. It won't recover. It'll never be the same. It'll be the same. The stock market's coming back. It's not coming back. It'll be back in a year. It'll be back in a month. It'll be back in 6 months. It won't be back for 10 years. I mean, it just goes on and on. The conflicting stories, the experts shouting each other down sometimes, whispering each other down other times. But there is no coherent story about where all this goes, about what we are actually going through. We will only know in retrospect, okay? In a time of not knowing, is there anything more powerful, more important than to know that deep down at our core, each of us is loved and worth it and safe. We may be able to take a leap of faith tomorrow. We may not be able to for 6 months. We may feel a new life coming on and feel like our hands are tied and can't do anything about it. Or we may be like me, kind of a dinosaur, jumping into social media, which I have always hated, feared, resented. I've been in the music business now for almost 25 years. Oh my God, I can't stand it. I have no interest in streaming. I just like singing a song. I just like feeling something and hoping you feel it too. And meanwhile, I'm registering for Zoom and giving them $100 so that I can sing songs or whatever it is. This is not my mode. This isn't your mode, most of us. This is adaptation. This is making the best of it, right? At our core, if we know, like Empty Hand says, if we know that we are loved, that we are unconditionally loved, that we are worth the inconvenience, that we are fundamentally, truly safe, then right now we can rest in that knowledge. And when the time comes that a new life is being born for you or for me, we can know that the worst case scenario is not so bad, because at our core, we are still that love and still worthy of that love and still cared for with a box of Fruit Loops every morning. Life, in fact, does offer a box of Fruit Loops every morning, not to wax weird and metaphorical. But the truth is, every morning we wake up, somebody would do anything to have awakened that morning. Every morning our back hurts, somebody would do anything to feel their back hurting. Every morning when you don't have a lot of food, somebody would do anything to have a refrigerator. Every morning when you take a car and it's not quite reliable to work, somebody would do anything to have a car. We are, in fact, the lucky ones to wake up in the morning, to look out the window if we have a window. And we are, in fact, fundamentally, profoundly, truly loved. And from that foundation, everything good can come. I sometimes think that a mother, that's my observation when Jude was born, right, when he was a little baby, my observation about the mother and father kind of duality is that a mother holds a baby facing in. A father holds a baby facing out, right? The baby looks at the wider world in the hands of daddy and knows if I fall, he's going to pick me up. The mother holds the baby inward and says, and whispers, "It's okay, baby, you're safe." Jude, still to this day, if he's upset, I'm a nice guy, but he runs to mommy, right? He knows that a hug is waiting. And the reason I opened with empty hands is because I truly believe for all of us, a hug is waiting. It is a feeling and a decision. It is an opening up within to feel that feeling. I grieve for someone like Alfonso. If I had wanted to leave him with anything, it would have been and I tried. It would have been the knowledge that he was in fact worth my inconvenience, worth my time. And I tried. And I'll never know actually if I succeeded or how well I succeeded. But I hope that whether you are the person putting out the Fruit Loops or the person eating the Fruit Loops, I hope that you can remember today, in fact, that you are loved that way, that you are worth it that way. And I also hope you know that those who you love know you love them. You have already shown it. They have already felt it. You have already achieved this goal. A mother or father, grandmother or grandfather, child, uncle, nephew, niece, or friend. We have all played this role for each other, whether we even are consciously doing it or not. Do I have time, Kurt, to sing a song? Okay. I'm through asking where I'm going. I've been asking all my life. I've grown tired of all this wondering when everything seems to turn out right. So when my mind needs something to do, wants to know the future, I whisper this: I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. You want to sing that line with me? I'm okay. I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. And I'll always be that way. So here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. Some say it's crazy, some say naive, to close my eyes and take the lead. But I know better, 'cause I believe even in the dark my soul can see. So when my mind plays its usual games, oh, my answer is always the same. Yeah, here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. Here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. No, but I'm not afraid this time. No, I'm not afraid this time. 'Cause I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. I'm okay. I've always been. I've always been, and I'll always be, and I'll always be that way.
Wow. Sorry, just clearing the tears. Thank you, Daniel. What I'd like to do is, it's a bit of a shift here, but what I'd like to do is just give us folks an opportunity to really move inward and really feel whatever's been evoked by this wonderful message of compassion and of empowerment and of openness and truly of oneness as we move into a time of meditation. And Daniel, one of the songs in our community that we all treasure is your song, When I Pray. I'm wondering if you'll lead us into meditation with that.
Gladly. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. I'll sing right here, right here, right now, right where I am, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
So into this beautiful sort of energy of going more deeply into who we truly are, I invite you to just take a big, deep breath. And however it is that you have experienced this beautiful story of Daniel's, I invite you now to sort of let go of the thinking part of that and just be fully present to what's been evoked in your heart. Perhaps you're feeling a sense of appreciation for whomever it is in your life that was bringing you boxes of Fruit Loops. Or perhaps you're remembering a time when you were able to open your heart and maybe even be inconvenienced, but to be present for someone else so that they might know their own worthiness and their love. Wherever it is that you are in that heart space now, whether it's in gratitude, whether it's in a sense of strength and empowerment, and even a sense of fulfillment. Just let that feeling well up within you. Let it strengthen your own awareness about how incredibly powerful that divine love is. It can uplift and inspire us, and it can give hope and faith to others. And what we know by the laws of love is that whether giving or receiving, that we are all one in that process. That as we give love, we become love. And as we open our hearts to receive love, we uplift all those who are touched by it. So I invite you now to just rest in a moment of quiet and silence and simply let love, however it's expressing in you now, let that well up within you as you become it. Know your capacity to be love now in the quiet. And now ever so gently and mindful of the ways in which we've created this field, this virtual field of loving energy, I invite you to turn your attention now to the sounds or the sights before you. Remembering that each of us is okay. We always have been and we always will be. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
When I pray, I feel my love. I feel my love go deeper. My love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper. My love go deeper into my God.
Ooh, amen. Thank you, Daniel. What a beautiful expression of heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so we have a special treat right now. April and Kira Henneman are joining us. April is a YOUer, so she's in high school, and Kira is a Unitine. And I've asked them to think about what motherhood means to them, and so they've just prepared a special Mother's Day statement presentation for us. So welcome, girls.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
So we're going to be talking about what Mother's Day means to us and a tradition that we do in our family. So for me, Mother's Day is a day to show our appreciation to our mom for all the hard work she does. I think that Mother's Day is a very important day to connect with our moms and their family. A tradition that our family does is that we all go around and share something that we love about our mom and why we appreciate her. Even if you can't be with your mom today physically, call her and let her know how awesome she is, or call and text any mother figure you may have in your life and let her know that they are loved and appreciated.
To me, Mother's Day is not just a day to tell your mom, Happy Mother's Day, but to do something extra special. You can be kind or tell your mom you love her any other day. So I act. As they say, actions speak louder than words. Sadly today, I cannot say Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. So Happy Mother's Day. Off to you, Reverend Christina.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful, you all. Thank you for sharing, and thank you to everyone. So good morning, beautiful people. We are just so blessed to just have the Spirit be moving and breathing in this service here today. Amen. So I just want to have us stay in this wonderful spiritual energy as we prepare now to receive our tithes and offerings. Now, our center and ministries are completely supported through your tithes and offerings. And so while it might be tempting, I know it's tempting to want to hold on tight during times of uncertainty, remember that giving, tithing, and sharing our good raises our spiritual consciousness. It's a blessing for us. And so at Unity North Shore, we are proud that we practice the law of giving and tithing. And we tally up all of the unrestricted income that we receive, and then we write checks and mail them out, yes, still in the mail, totaling 10% of those gifts to organizations and or individuals who have nurtured and empowered us as a spiritual community. And so we also share our tithes with others whose work supports our mission of co-creating a world that works for all. And if you're joining us from another spiritual community, we're so happy that you're here. I want to give a special shout out to Unity Oak Park, who has been with us through all of this virtual church. And we love you so much. And we're so grateful for your energy and presence. So thank you for being here. And please remember, not just to necessarily support Unity North Shore, but to support your home church if you're here from another home church or center. So giving in these times of sequestering is safe and simple. So we're going to put the links and the instructions that are being entered into the chat stream, as well as you'll see them on screen as well. So here are the ways to give. You can text the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to the number 815-827-6052. How easy is that? you can do that. You can go old school if you want and send a check right over to 3434 Central Street, Evanston, Illinois, 60201. And you can, of course, give online to www.unityns.org. And for those Oak Parkers, don't forget, you can give online to Unity Oak Park as well at www.unityoakpark.org. And we'll put that in the chat stream as well. So your generosity empowers us to continue our work, creating a world that works for all by sharing principles and practices for abundant living. So now let's bless our giving and receiving in our usual offertory way. So together, please, let's speak our words out loud. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. So I'll go back now. I believe Daniel's got a little bit more music for us.
That's okay. I know we're already going long. I think Kira and April I'm gonna hire them as private tutors on brevity. They're both hired. So if you're up, do we have time for another song? Is that okay? Okay. All right. So for those of you wondering when the service will end, figure around 3. Anyway, I'm kidding. Sorry, we go one more song. It came to mind today, for obvious reasons, in the sense that it's about my boy, and it's especially about a phone call that we got from his teacher. Inspired by that phone call, months later, I found myself writing a song about it, and I hope you enjoy. And thanks for having me. And one thing, this is for me, this is not a time when I'm not feeling very entrepreneurial, let's just say. I mean, normally I sell things in addition to performances. That has not been the mode I've been in since the first week of March. My schedule completely cleared. And the thing that I was most, besides a livelihood to support my family, what really felt cut off for me was my ability to do the thing I most love to do at a moment when I really felt like it could do some good, which is sing a song. So I started offering concerts on Facebook Live, which again, I have never liked Facebook. I'm a little bit of a bigger fan now because of what they've made possible for me, but I just announced 12 concerts in 12 nights. This is in March, late March. 12 concerts every night, same time. And it was wonderful. And a community started building, people chatting together and saying hi every night and making requests. And it was really special. And then I offered another 12. And then my wife and son started really resenting it. And then I offered a third 12 series, 12 shows. And this is just my gift to you, is what literally they were intended and continue to be meant as a gift of a few songs, half hour, 35, 40 minutes of a little bit of peace of mind, a little deep breath, maybe a little chuckle, just a few songs. Every night, I'm still doing it. There's 5 more nights, tonight through Thursday night, are the last 5 of what I'm calling season 3. It may be the last season. I think it's the last season. We'll have to see. But if you feel like watching, you're invited. And all the older shows are still up there on Facebook. And my Facebook ID is Daniel Nahmod USA. Okay? So stop by Facebook, Daniel Nahmod USA, and settle in for about 35 hours of concerts or something. I don't know what I've been thinking, but I've sung a lot of songs, and it's been a lot of fun. And it's been much more than fun, actually. It's been very special. So this is a new song from the most recent album I released end of last year, an album called Sing About Love. And like I said, based on a phone call that we got from our boy's teacher. And I hope you enjoy it, and happy Mother's Day to everybody. Lately I've been thinking about what motivates me to give a couple dollars to a stranger on the street, to hold the door, carry groceries, help a neighbor in need. When history repeats itself in headlines every day, solutions never big enough for problems that we face. As a man, as a dad, what difference can I make? 'Cause I know better than to think I'll be remembered for a favor or a quarter or a smile. Oh, but maybe before I return to sender, I can do one thing worthwhile. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to raise a kind child. Sure would help if our boy went and got an MBA and took care of his artist mom and dad in their old age. But let's face it, Wall Street probably isn't in his DNA. But when his first grade teacher said she wanted us to know, it's Jude who always comforts any kid who sits alone. There's just so much pride my heart can take. My retirement can wait. Cause I know better than to think I'll be remembered for a fortune or a pension or a prize. Oh, but maybe before I return to sender, I'll have done one thing worthwhile. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to raise a kind child. I don't want him to think the world is his to save. It's too much pressure anyway, can't be done. I don't want him to think he has to be a saint, 'cause the truth is saints don't have any fun. Mostly I just hope my boy will come to understand no 401k or GPA can make a happy man. It's having roots, doing good, helping out where you can. So put down roots, do some good, take somebody's hand. And you'll know better than most what really matters, what makes living this life worthwhile. And there may come a day your own kids will remember how their granddad used to say with a smile that he raised. We raised a kind child.
Thank you so much, Daniel. That was absolutely beautiful. I know I'm trying to hold the waterworks back here because I got to do the announcements. But thank you for that beautiful message and music and the reminder that, you know, we are the change in the world. And though people may not say it, acknowledge it in the moment, we have to have faith that we are putting those roots down. And you certainly put roots down, sir, today in this service, and really blessed us. So thank you. Don't forget to check out his music, his website, his Facebook page. We'll put that in the chat as well. So I want to also mention, don't forget our YouTube channel. We are really rocking and rolling. We have so much up on our channel now. So please make sure to go check it out. Make sure to subscribe to it and also hit the bell for the notifications when we do post new stuff. So go to our Facebook page as well. We have our Facebook page for the Unity North Shore, and we have a Facebook group. That's Unity North Shore Group. And so that's really the place where we do more kind of community building and communication, and you all can post in there. And so we have got all kinds of goodies and nitty gritties that all of us are posting and sharing. So please make sure to do that. And of course, you can follow us on IG, on the gram, Instagram as well, Unity North Shore. So I'm going to turn it over to Kate now to do our youth blessing.
Good morning, family. Happy Mother's Day. Want to send a special shout out to all our moms in Soul School. We are so blessed and honored to be with you, that you share your beautiful children with us. We're so grateful. So thank you so very much. Today in Soul School Online, in a world where today in Soul School Online, we started for our kindergartners through 8th graders a wonderful new topic in Spiritual Playdate of forgiveness. So today's lesson was all about what is forgiveness. And when we talk about it, it is so layered. There are so many things that go into forgiveness, internal and external things. So that's what we're talking about in the next few weeks, expressing that we kind of have to break ourselves open a little bit, become vulnerable to the possibility of forgiveness. And so I look forward to sharing that conversation even more with our young people in the coming weeks. And then Piper led a wonderful discussion in YOU based on Reggie Nelson's TED Talk called The Power of Mentoring. If you have not seen this TED Talk, it's well worth a view. And our kids had some great discussion time. And I just wanted Kira and April to know how proud I am of you. Thank you so much for representing all of our youth with their families today. You are a blessing to us. So let's bless all those children. Should we? I think we should. We're going to say to them, you're going to see it on your screen momentarily. There it is. Let's say that together. Children and teens, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold the Christ as you, and we see you doing great things.
Thank you, Kate. Thanks for all you're doing with our youth. Thank you to all who joined us and stuck with us. I know we went a little bit long today, but I see we've got old friends from Dallas and from Unity of Park and Unity Chicago and, of course, Unity North Shore. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget, next week, come back. Share the link with anyone that you think might benefit and might enjoy some of the ideas that we talk about here at Unity on the North Shore. Also want you to know about prayer support. We're continuing to be able to offer that in a number of ways. You can go online. We have kind of an online prayer box. Just click the pray button at the top of our website, www.unityns.org. Also by phone, we have a recorded message with a special kind of just an affirmation for moving through these times, 847-328-6123. If you leave a message, again, we'll transcribe that message and pass it along to our prayer team. And then finally, you can always call Silent Unity for one-on-one prayer support 24/7 at 1-800-NOW-PRAY. So that's it. That's all we got. Thank you again to Daniel. Thanks to you all. Those of you who are interested in sticking around for Garden Chat, we will go ahead and turn on the microphones right after Kent does the prayer protection for us. So let's see. Daniel, can you lead us out with prayer with the peace song, please?
Sure. Thank you, everybody. And blame only me for being so late. Sorry about that. Here we go. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God unfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine.